Hello everybody, it's been quite a while since I recorded a video. Just a quick warning. I mean, I know a lot of people might not know what this is. This is technically a gameplay video as well. If you don't want any spoilers on this game, I would recommend not watching this video, as I am gonna, explain how to get, wood a lot quicker, but you don't want any spoilers on this. Like, let's imagine you play the game and you're not too far, then I would recommend not watching this because you might see other things that you don't want to see. But yeah, if you have gotten decently far and you're wondering how to get more wood, then I would recommend watching this video. And to be honest, you might have more wood than me, so if you have a lot of wood, then maybe don't watch this. Well, I mean, I would say I have a decent amount, but I don't know how much I have compared to other people, but so far I've had more than most other people. So, but yeah, well, for me to get started, I would say if you're playing this, since I played, I think they don't. There was a quest system, but I don't think that they use it as much anymore. But I recommend following the quests quite a lot rather than trying to just go on your own way. But yeah, what I've also realized is a lot of players, when you go to strength and you're starting the game and you're trying to do your quests, upgrade your strength not to where you can one-shot the trees in your area and then buy the next area, but focus on doing a lot of damage and then buying the next area, because you don't want to waste time trying to be able to break trees instantly, because it can be an extreme waste of time and not be helpful at all. So well, I mean, it will be helpful, but it's a case of if you go to the next area, every time you break a tree, you realize you get more stuff. So you want to focus on that. And you might be wondering, yes, if you have played this game and you're quite far, you might realize I've only got octillions, which is quite a lot. Speaking of the final area, it's 2.5, but it's not a lot. And that's because I did recently, if you look in the bottom left and you look at my crystals, I did recently prestige on this game. Yeah, so I'm just going to go over some things. So, I haven't got them equipped right now, but there's pets, as you may or may not know. When you're beginning the game, oh yeah, by the way, another thing that has happened to a lot of people, rather than leaving and rejoining the game when you lose, you see in the bottom left here, you can't see my stuff anymore, you can just go to settings and reload it like that. Also, my mic sounds different, it's because I've got a new one. But one thing I'd recommend is you'll realise that with pets, they get extremely strong every time you evolve them. So when you get, I'd say, maybe a couple prestiges, or you get quite far through, and you start getting a lot more eggs in your game, and you start getting a lot more wood, you want to focus on opening these forest eggs and getting all your pets level 100. Because you'll realise, if you look at the stats on this gold slime, their stats, especially the critical rate and critical damage, which I'm going to go to on another thing, is very high. Which is why you want to do it. Now what I'm going to next is, right, you may or may not realise this, so I don't have any pets, I don't think, yeah. So when I break a tree, I double crit, right? Now you might realise if I break another tree, I triple crit. And you might realise how I'm mostly double critting, and I'm not really criticking, doing critical hits that much. The reason it's important to get your pets level 100 is because their critical rates will go very high, and they go so high to the point where when you use your pets, you can't do criticals anymore. You can only do higher than critical, you can only do double criticals. I can only do triple critical hits with my pets, and that's kind of the point that I'm getting at. This is why you want to upgrade your pets at a certain point in the game, because, as I said, if you upgrade your pets and you can only triple crit, you are going to do a lot of damage to everything. Because if you can only do critical hits, sorry, I am being so goofy and not equipping my stuff. If you can do this, right, you'll realise that how much more damage I do, because I only do triple crits. I do so much more damage. Look at my wood already. And I'm in this area as well. So, that's one tip. Another thing, I mean, you can, but like, when you're fighting bosses, don't just try and fight them and probably, like, you know, don't just try and fight them a lot and lose. And this is my point about criticals that I was going to get to. Because I can only triple crit, or higher, that relates to bosses as well. So if I fight a boss, I can only do triple crits, which is why I also recommend on your sword. You don't need to do this, but I recommend with your augments, you put critical damage and critical rate on your augments, so that you actually do more critical hits. And if you do that, like I've done there, then you are a lot more likely to, like, what's it? Yeah, obviously you're more likely to hit criticals and more likely to do more damage with your criticals. So that can help a lot in boss fights, because if you're triple crits, like my 6 times critical hits with my sword do 2 trillion damage. So in other words, the second hardest boss in the game, if I was just to hit a 6 times critical, then they would basically lose half their health. So like I said, you wanna... Another thing, don't prestige too early, because the more wood you have, the more crystals you get. When you're starting the game, when you get, it'll be like 8 quadrillion all time wood, I think, and then it tells you to prestige the game. Obviously, it's a quest, so you, like I said, you want to follow the quests a lot, so you should probably prestige. But after that, don't go, oh yeah, I can get 1 crystal from prestiging, and I have the option to, so I should do it. When you get to the stage of that, you don't want to just only, like, you don't want to only prestige for 1 crystal. You want to get, like, at least another area over what you were, be able to break the trees there, and then do it. Because, like, the difference between 2 areas, these trees give, like, what's it? I think it's like, what's it? So that area is like 10 quadrillion. I think these like give like maybe 700 trillion, 1 quadrillion. I don't actually remember, to be honest. I can't really break them because I one shot them and I do over the damage. I just, yeah, I get quite a lot more. But with these trees, they give like 100 quadrillion. So these, if you get to the next area from there to here, that's already getting like another. If you break 1 tree from that area, that's like timesing your previous wood all time by 10. So that can be extremely helpful. Then you also want to focus on, when you get to this area, you don't want to just not only focus on those upgrades, because other important upgrades are like these. I'm not going a bit quick, so I'm just going to try and go slower. So I'm just going to explain all these real quick. If you already know what they do, just, I don't know, skip probably like 20 seconds. Right, critical rate is your chance of hitting a critical. Critical damage is increasing the amount of damage you do per, if you like do hit a critical hit. Final strike is increasing the amount of tree you get, like the amount you get whenever you break a tree. And then multi-critical strike is when you do like I said, you can do like quadruple critical hits. Like I do a quadruple there. Because those, in my opinion, are like some of the most important stats. Another thing. Now, even I do this all the time. You can see in the bottom left corner. Actually, probably not already, but you might not. Actually, I mean, you probably won't, to be honest. Well, you might. In the bottom left corner, you can see there's like a blue thing. I don't know if you can see more on my screen, but I can't because it's kind of glitched. There's like a blue thing, and it says full, and it says ready. You don't want to. When it's full, you don't want to wait. You want to use them like straight away if you can, if you're strong enough. Because of the golden trees, I have 2, and I can get 4, so I'm fine. I don't need to use them yet, because I'll still get more over time. With that blue stuff, the cooldown doesn't start, and I can't get any more until I fight a guardian. So I want to go and hurry up and fight a guardian so the cooldown starts again, and I'm not wasting them. Obviously, if you can't beat a boss, then it can be an issue. Now, I personally have played this game a lot on private servers. When you go on public servers, I don't really find people that talk much in them, to be honest. So I don't know if many people are gonna help you, but sorry, I'm just gonna do something real quick, guys. Ignore me. Sorry that you can't see my screen. Sorry. So carrying on with what I was saying. With the Guardians, obviously if you can't be in them and stuff, yeah. When you're in a public server, not many people talk, but if you can find someone that's willing to help you in a public server, that would be like helpful towards you. Because like, well, it's unlikely you see me in a public server, to be honest, because I don't really go in public servers that much. But if you imagine you were just trying to fight like the Forest Guardian, you were new to the game and you couldn't really beat it. If you went into a public server, you might find someone that's also trying to fight the Forest Guardian, and you could both fight together and stand a higher chance. Now the reason I'm telling you to fight bosses is because, as you can see, if you look at the rewards real quick, I'm gonna go in. Yeah, just go back, check if you need to, or if you want to. If I beat this boss, you'll already realise, by the way, I'm hitting a lot more critical hits, like I said, because of my pets. I mean, well, you can't really see my pets do it. I don't even know if pets apply to this, but I think that they do, only because of how much damage I'm actually doing. With these bosses, you want to wait for them to get stunned, because when you get to the third boss, they actually have a stun feature. So you want to use that to your advantage. Now, although I've beaten this boss, I'm going to get to stuff tips that might be better for, like, people that are a lot further through the game, rather than kind of like tips for like beginners. Like, I mean, I say beginners, but like, I mean, I'm technically a beginner. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be truly advanced this game, because I am at the final area, but at the same time, you've also got to think this game's been out for like, I think 6 days. But what you want to do is obviously beat bosses, and you know, when you're new to the game, like I said, right. And bosses will be difficult, so you want to focus on your health mainly. I'm sorry I cannot check that comment, to be honest. I'll maybe check in a second. Yeah, you want to just mainly focus on, well, beating the bosses in the beginning of the game. Now, going on to more tips that like, by the way, I mean, I know you just joined the stream, there is going to be like spoilers in this video if someone is watching that hasn't played much of the game, so if you don't want any spoilers for this, maybe, you know, you don't want to watch it, because I am showing a lot of the other areas and stuff. Now more kind of tips for people that are a lot further through the game. Now, I'm at the final area. Yeah, well, I'm not right now, but I can afford the final area if I just do ever so slightly more. One thing that I'll say is, yeah, I'll check the comment now, give me a second. Oh, it's called, well, if you look for the title, it's called Lumberjack Heroes. Lumberjack Heroes tips. But yeah, carrying on with this. A tip for, like, more pros is a case of, these trees, you'll realise, they only give me 1.4 nonillion, which seems like a lot, but obviously, then how do you get to things like undercillions, like I have? Well, as I showed you with previous, like, carrying on with what I was saying, with this, it's a case of, I'm wondering, how do you get undercillions then? Because, I mean, I think it's undercillions, I don't actually know. The person who's commenting in chat, which is Ted, as you may not know, he'll, if you can check it, then he would know. I'm just gonna say that now. If I actually have because I don't really need the full screen, I'm actually gonna have the comments displayed on the side. Give me 1 second. Yep. One thing that I will say with this is you'll realise that with a lot of oh wait, give me a sec, sorry. Oh, it's UN, Ted. Well, yeah, UN. Look. Oh, give me a sec. Then where it says wood collected all time. He'll know. Just wait a second. But yeah, carrying on whilst he just know what. Oh, okay, I am right. Yes, mine was actually okay. Carrying on. You'll realise that when I break these trees, I still only get like, you know, 745 non-million and stuff. And you might realise that time I got 809 million because, as I showed you in the previous areas, if you break a tree with more damage than its health, it gives you the amount of damage you do. Which is why, even when you can one-shot trees in the final area, damage is still one of the most important stats. Now, I've only prestiged a lot of times, which is why this is kind of like easy for me to afford. But these are usually very expensive. But my normal strategy when I've prestiged a lot, which I have, is I try and get 100 on each stat. And then when I've got 100 on the stat, I increase its efficiency. And then I try and level it up to 300. How? Oh yeah, no, never mind. But the reason I want to get 100 is because a lot of people will go and increase this stat. What this is, I forgot to explain this, it's upgrade efficiency. What this does is it doubles the amount in that stat, and it gives you double the amount of points in that stat. Now, when you've ascended it, which I have, you'll realise that it doesn't just double it, it like, I don't know, quadruples it. But yeah, that's one thing. Oh, wait. But yeah, and then so with these, getting back to this, when you increase your strength, you realise now I'm getting even more. Now, the reason your pets, like I was going to earlier, are so important to level up, is because pet gather. That's basically how much they gather, and your pets, when you get to level 100, will become quite a lot stronger than you. They get a lot stronger. Also, what I have realised, which is why this is very important, you'll realise the purple snow is from the second area. The purple slime is from the first area. The pet gather, right, is 10 times more in the snow area than the forest area. The strength is 10 times the amount in the forest area. I don't think critical rate, critical damage, final strike. Maybe they have their own statistics. Maybe they're like the exact same for each one. I don't know. And if I go to the rare one, you can see times 10 and times 10. So, in other words, what I've made a theory of, which I'm not actually sure of yet, is if these pets are times 10 these pets, because if they are, that means eventually your pets will start doing over like 800 times your damage, 800% more your damage, which is just, you know, they're becoming stronger than you at this point. Like, my pets are stronger than me by quite a far mile. But going back to this, you'll realise I'm getting more wood, but then you're still probably wondering, you're not getting Undercillion, so how do you get that? Well, if I go over here, you'll realise when you get to this point in the game, usually some previous stats might be good to upgrade. When you get to this point in the game, you'll realise there is a drastic difference between them. So in other words, when you get to this point in the game, at least in my personal opinion, then you want to mostly focus on the last stat. You don't want to only focus on it, but you want to focus on it a lot more. You know, sometimes you might want to do previous stats and all that, but with this point, you want to focus on others, like the final stat mostly. And you'll realise that if you check, that's just me upgrading this one stat has increased my strength by like, wait, hold up, I'm doing the math, like 700%, like 750%, which is quite a lot. And now you'll realise I'm getting Decadillions more. Now this is why the golden tree is important, because even when you get to this point in the game and you've maxed out the golden tree is still extremely strong because of the one other thing that I actually forgot to upgrade. I think no, I didn't. If I go here, by the way, I'm gonna just say this now. I'm only moving it around because I've maxed out my golden tree, and I'm creating a video, so I'm not really trying to like get too much. But I will say this: don't waste the golden tree buff. use it whilst you've still got it. Don't go running around the map unless it's actually something that will extremely help you when you've used the golden tree. Oh, yeah, do fire blooms. For some reason on PlayStation, hopefully they fix this, it's glitched. For me and all my... I mean, I've never been popular, have I? So, but what I will say is, you'll realise, look, I've got 1.64 Undercillion, and these charged hits. This is what gives you a lot. Like, this gives you an extreme amount, as you can see right here. Flower blooms are important, but for some reason, only on PlayStation I've seen it doesn't work. Because there's three options: there's mobile, or there's touchscreen, there's keyboard, and there's controller. Controller works on Xbox, it seems. It seems it works on Nintendo, but it has never worked for me or any of my other friends who have played this game that are on PlayStation. So, I don't know what that's about, and I can't really tell you a way to fix it, but what I can tell you is what I've been doing is I've just been doing touchscreen and using a mouse. I've just plugged my mouse into my PlayStation and been using the mouse as touchscreen. That's only because I don't have a keyboard though. If you have a keyboard, I'd recommend using your keyboard, but if you don't, and you just have a mouse for some reason, which, like I do, like if you're on a laptop, for example, if you have a laptop, then just use that and do touchscreen. And you can maybe get something, but I can't really get that far. The highest I've gotten is like a rare from the flower blooms, which you might not understand. But, yeah. When you've gotten a lot more like this, well, like I said, you don't want to waste it, which is why I'm not wasting it. You'll realize your prestiges, well, your prestige, like, if you prestige, that the crystals you get will increase by a lot. Once again, this is why I'm saying it's kind of more for pros, because if you aren't at a certain area, it's very unlikely you've even prestige once. But, yeah, I mean, you might have, but it's very unlikely that you've grinded at a certain area for ages. And then not go into like a further area like the 1 trillion zone, for example, or the 500 trillion zone. Once this runs out, once again, the charge is very important. Make sure you upgrade the charges too. But for me, multi-crit is the most important because it also helps in boss fights. Once again, as you can see, I've got 4. I know that I said don't do this, but you know. So now I've done this. If I check out how much I can prestiging, you say I get 74.8 million. Now, what you'll realize is, at this point, the game heavily depends on Golden Tree now. This is why I'm saying you need to use Golden Tree when you're better at the game. Because look, I basically just increased my all-time wood by like 30%, like 33%, in that one go of the Golden Tree. So that's my point, and that is very important, the Golden Tree. You should definitely use it quite a lot. And when you've obviously, so what you realise though is you're gonna start wanting to prestige a lot more, because prestiging obviously increases your gather rate, so you can get the Undercillions quicker. But I've realised I haven't been doing that much though. I haven't been going too far beyond. I'm actually gonna, in this here, I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna try and get these stats to 300, like more of them, and then see how much that helps. Because it should help quite a lot if I am not wrong. And then this is where it gets really expensive, by the way. This is why I'm saying if you haven't prestiged a lot, this will be very expensive, which is why I'm not upgrading the efficiency on these. But once you've gotten this point in the game, you'll realize now it gets even more. And what you want to do, like I said, upgrade your pets. Now, if you don't know this already, the way you upgrade pets is, well, if you're talking about the Atlantean area, you go to the egg. This one's a bit more hidden, but it's not hidden really. You can see that they cost a lot to hatch. Not like wood for me really, but the eggs are important, because yes, I have a lot of common eggs, but when you get to the legendary eggs, I can only hatch like 2 of those. Now what I've realized a lot is you realize you realize I'm missing something. Like I have the level requirement, I have the cost, I don't know if that. It's called Guardian Essence. This is why I said it's important to fight bosses. If you fight bosses, you can evolve your pets a lot more. And as I've already explained already, your pets get extremely strong when you evolve them and you get them max level. So this is why it's important to fight bosses. Now, one more thing I'm going to quickly show you, then I'm going to I show a couple more, then I'm probably going to end the stream, because right now I can't really explain much more. I will show a couple more things, like I said, though, but is in this area here. Nope, this one. If you go behind this waterfall, I don't know if it's still there, to be honest, but there's this red light, green light game. I don't know if it's gone now, because it wasn't there for my friend, but there's usually like an egg behind him. I don't know if they completely removed it or whatnot, but I don't have it there anymore. That might have been because I've done it so many times, though. You're right, you'll realize here, if the egg is still there, you might want to do it. So he turns around, right? He turned around instantly. Now he comes back, and then you realize if he turns right, yeah, he turned instantly, so he's not looking back, right? Yeah, sure, Ted. Eventually, I don't know if I have to go in or not, but I don't think I do. He might turn slower. So if he turns slower than usual, like instead of being instant, if he does that, you know he's gonna look a second time. Don't go if he looks like slower than usual. Yeah, that's what I want to say real quick. And more tips, like I said, I gotta do as many as I can into this video, because you know I haven't seen many videos with tips. So I just want to get this out real quick, just to help people, because you know not many. I think there's a single video out there. I don't think. Maybe there is. Maybe there is. I don't actually search that, to be honest. But either way, it doesn't really tend to go here much. As you can see here, it says affordable upgrades track. Now I don't really have any upgrades that I can buy anymore, to be honest. But you want to check these usually. Now, this person, to be honest, you see how my HUD's gone again? I can just bring it back by going settings and going reload. But you'll realize this person a lot, if you don't know what they do, in my opinion, they're not that good. They are like increased rest and stuff. This is just this area, it's an AFK area. If you're a PlayStation player, you basically, if you just hold your pickaxe and you hold your PlayStation button, then you'll auto swing. And another thing that you guys might realize is, this is just on anything, computer, console, just whatever. If you swing and pop your menu at the right time, which just give me bear with me. I'm just gonna hope that I can get this right. Okay, I guess I'm just bad at the game. If you do this right and you click it at the right time, like perfectly, yeah, you see, it's auto swinging. If you want to AFK, I would not recommend using the rest area. I say go up to the hardest tree you can do, even if you can't really break it that well. Like even if it takes you a long time to break. If you're gonna AFK, it doesn't matter if it takes a long time to break, because it will still break eventually. And I say just auto swing at it, because this is not that strong in my opinion. Like I only get 61 million from here, which might seem like a lot, but it's not really. Because I mean, from my prestige alone, I already get 19 million a second. So, it's not the strongest thing in the world. This person's important, by the way. Really? So this is why I'm saying you need to check your affordable upgrades. Because if you want to be able to have full Guardian Essence like at a time like I can, you need this. And to fight the two hardest bosses, you need to... Oh yeah, one more thing that I think a lot of people might not have realized. Right. This is really confusing for some people. Like, it confused me at the beginning. If you go here, you realize it says you need cost like 1, and then it says cost 2, and then it says cost 3. It doesn't actually cost that much. It's how much you're required. So like, I can do 2 of these 2 people. Well, not each, but like, I could fight the Atlantean guard twice. Because you just need to have 3 on you. You don't actually spend 3. So like, I could fight the second guys, so the frost guys. I could fight this guy 3 times. So that's very important that a lot of people don't, well, I mean, not a lot of people don't know, but it's just a confusing thing that if you're, well, like me, you wouldn't have realized until you'd actually tried it. Move on upgrades don't really get looked at a lot. This is actually important in my opinion. A lot of people might not find it important. I find it extremely important. It can be very helpful for boss fights. And also, if you get the thing called flash jump, you can do this, which I'd say is quite strong in boss fights as well, because you can escape a lot of attacks. Also, I don't really use this mechanic much anymore, but when you don't have much movement speed or you don't have like these jumps, I'd personally recommend using this feature a lot more, the dodge feature on the sword in boss fights, because it can be helpful if you're in a boss fight, as sure, well, in a boss fight, it's a bit difficult to dodge the attacks if you don't have these jumps. So it's good to use this. When you've got this person, I think the quest actually just, yeah, I know they tell you to get the edited. I don't know about Egg Fortune anymore, but it tells you to get this at least. These two, this is just important, but the game will tell you to get it anyways. The sword it will tell you to get as well. One thing that I'd personally recommend is, well, you want to max your bonus stats as soon as possible. Once again, you're stuck in between this decision now. As you may or may not have seen before, to evolve pets, you also need Guardian Essence. So, at a certain point, like when I am, you're going to get stuck in between, do I upgrade my pets, or do I upgrade my sword? Now, it gets to a point where you usually want to upgrade your pets more. At the beginning, you want to upgrade your sword, and then later on, you want to upgrade your pets, because if you've upgraded your pets, you have a higher critical chance you can actually beat bosses. Like, if I didn't have my pets as high as levels as I do, I definitely wouldn't be able to beat the Atlantean Guard. Augments. You can if you really want. I personally would say you need to go maximum epic, unless the next sword, which I don't have yet, you need like weapon grade, I don't know, 440, and you need to have legendary augments to get the final weapon. I wouldn't recommend doing this. The tier up rate is literally 1% with 128, I think it is, 124 legendary eggs. So that is not worth it in my opinion. I have to go to epic maximum if you need to. Then bonus stats, you want to max those up. Those get very strong, as you can kind of see on the right. And then the stats, you want to reforge them until they're like my stats are, when they're legendary stats, which will be helpful. But that's only when you get further swords, because when you're the beginning swords, there's no point of spending your legendary eggs to upgrade the stats if you're just going to go to a new sword. Because this resets after you've gone to your next sword. So there's no point of doing it. When you get like, but then when you're at the stage I'm at, it is important. And I mean, that's all I really have to say. I'm probably gonna end this in a second. I'm just gonna show one more thing though. This is where you actually fall on prestige. If you click this menu here and you click prestige, it will just send you to this chair. You don't have to run all the way back. So it is worth doing it like on the menu if you need to. But so these upgrades. These upgrades, in my personal opinion, the permanent areas is pretty good. I never use upgrade optimization. It isn't that strong, in my opinion. It's you see the yellow highlight? That's what it is. It tells you what to do, but in my opinion, I don't do it. I would not recommend using it because it says optimal, but it isn't really that good. To be honest, it doesn't seem to work that well. Then you got pet equips. This is extremely important. Then you've got this person. They give you egg magnet. They increase the amount of eggs you get, and they have something called egg radar, which makes you get more eggs. Then these last two people, this person, they automatically generate wood from percentage of gather rate. What that means is, you see in the bottom in per second. You'll realize if I check my gather rate is 233 octillion, so it's 200% of that, which I still don't understand because it isn't 200%. It's quite a lot more than 200% actually. I don't know if there's a reason for that. Maybe someone can tell me. And then finally got strength ascension. Now I already told you what this does. If you know, if a strength was ascended and you upgrade it, like you upgrade those stats on the right, then what it will do is it will, instead of doubling it, it will like quadruple it. And yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one, and hopefully I don't take ages to record a video. And that's